All right, let's move on to the Purge election year. This is it. Next up is the first Purge. So we bring back Frank Grillo here, and they had to have an excuse for him to come back, other than just exploring more of his story with his dead kid and the guy he's after. So they made him like a Secret Service agent protecting this really important figurehead, this politician who's running for, presidency or whatever, so that she can get rid of the purge. So this is a very important person that he needs to protect. And it makes sense. I mean, you would think that the people would be calling for this. What I am confused about in this movie is the timeline. So this girl is, we have this opening scene where this congresswoman is being held hostage by this guy, and he's killing her family, and he's only going to let one of them live. And then it flashes forward to 18 years later. So this was happening on a purge night. So at least 18 years has passed since the first purge, if that was the first purge. But then later in the movie, it says that the founding fathers have been in place for 25 years. I don't know how long it took for them to get the purge, pushed through from once they took over. But let's say that this happened on the first purge. This is still 18 years later. The second film takes place 6 years after the first purge. So it's the 6th annual, so I guess technically like 5 years after. So I'm just really kind of confused on that, because this is supposed to be 12 years after the second film. They don't ever put a date up on the screen of what year it is. And when Frank Grillo is talking about his son dying, he does say he died a while back. The guy that's been in the last two movies, the dude who survived the first film, he gets a name in this, Dante Bishop. And Dante looks exactly the same. Frank looks exactly the same. So, I mean, they age well, sure, but I don't know, the timeline in this series is really vague. And I think that's done on purpose. I just don't know why that needed to be so many years in the future. Like, this could have happened to her 4 years ago. Like, it didn't, 18? Like, I just don't understand. Like, I guess they were trying to give it enough time to where she could work her way up through Congress and what, but come on, it's a movie. I'm gonna fucking suspend disbelief to believe that a country would institute something like the Purge. I can believe a girl, a woman, should I say, moved up through Congress in 4 years. I mean, she's a congresswoman. Like, she could have already been a congresswoman when this was happening. She could have been one of the people who pushed the purge through and then regretted it after she got taken out. Whatever. Obviously, you can't go after level 10s. I'm just spitballing here. But I just don't understand why it had to be 18 years, because that just screws with the timeline. And if you're going to put characters from the past in it and not make them look at all different. And didn't Dante have a scar on his face in the first movie? Am I misremembering that? I just watched it the other day. He doesn't have one here. So maybe that was something else, but I just thought I'd point that out. I have to go back and look at it, but I didn't before I started this because I'm a lazy son of a bitch. Anyways, so let's get into the film itself. I guess we kind of already are, but let's start talking about things. Oh God, there's that politician, the gray-haired dude. He's been in tons of movies. I can't think of what his name is, but his dialogue in the opening is so forced. Like, he's forcing himself to try to sound like a mean villain using curse words. What is his cunt's chances? And like, his delivery of those lines do not work. And there's a lot of that in this movie where the villains are just forced. And I think that's the director's fault, honestly. And no one more than one person. And if you've seen this movie, you know exactly who I'm talking about. There is a villain in this movie who is so awful that you just want her to die. And it's not like there's a difference between I'm a good actress, I'm a character that you want to hate, like you love to hate, like a Sherry Palmer or something in 24, or like a Ramsay Bolton, or a freaking King Joffrey or something from Game of Thrones or something. Like those characters, they're good actors and they earn your hatred. This chick is just the worst. You want her dead so bad. And of course, I'm not being serious here, but you're sitting there like, I just want this person to die. I don't actually want that person to die, but it's just like, please fucking get her off the screen, please. I want my candy bar. Oh my God. I think honestly, there's a lot of hate towards this movie, in some circles. And I have to believe that she's a good reason why, like a big part of it, because she is just unbearable to watch. Oh my God, it's like the fakest attempt at trying to be evil and sinister and intimidating. And I remember hating it in theaters. When I went to sit back down to watch this, I was like, all right, I'm going to go into this and it's going to be nowhere near as bad as I remember. Honestly, I think it's worse. I think it's worse than my memory. She is more annoying than I remember her, and I remember her being dreadfully awful. So, yeah, I just wanted to give her a couple minutes of spotlight because I hate her so very much. And she is a huge downside of this movie. Rewatching it, I would honestly want to fast forward through her scenes. She's so fucking annoying. Although, I would probably play her death over and over and over again. God, she's god-awful. Anyways, so they don't know how the hell to deal with this situation. So what they decide is that they are going to counter her, what she's been saying. And this is like a double move here, where it makes it look like they're playing along, like, oh, we're gonna pull this restriction of people level 10 in Congress and higher can be targets now. Like, look. Because she's calling them out, like, look, they hide behind walls and they make themselves exempt from this. And they're like, okay, well, we need to kill her and we need to make ourselves look good. So this is like a perfect PR stunt. Like, get the people thinking like you made yourself vulnerable, which you're totally not, because you have all the security detail you could possibly afford, and get her killed, in the process. So it's just kind of this win-win thing, which I thought was really clever. And it's definitely something that they would do if this scenario was real. I love that we get to see tourists flying in to Purge. I thought that was a freaking great idea. I was like, oh wow, yeah, that's probably true. There would be people flying in from all across the world wanting in on this. So yeah, about that. It's so messed up. And I like that they're dressed up like American figures. Like, one's like freaking Statue of Liberty and the other one's like Abe Lincoln and the other one's like Uncle Sam, and like, because they're just so in love with America that they, the fact that they get to murder people, it's fucked up. And yeah, like, I have hate these schoolgirls so much written down here like a couple times, because I was just like, when I was watching, I was like scratching it into the paper. It's like through 3 pieces of paper. That's not true, but it should be, because I fucking can't stand them. Oh my God, I want the candy bar. Fuck that stupid ass bitch. I can't stand it. And I did kind of get a question answered here that I had, was talking about like insurance and insurance premiums and all that stuff. So Joe, the liquor store owner, convenience store owner, he gets his purge rates, because there's, actual purge insurance, which you would think there would. They wouldn't be like covered by normal thing. You'd have to have like something else added on, like flood insurance and all that kind of stuff. It's a premium, and so they call and they jack his rates up the night before, and if he doesn't pay them the next night, he's going to get it revoked. And I was like, wow, yeah, that did answer that question. Like, do they have purge insurance? I guess they frickin' do, and they call people right beforehand. and get it taken off, basically. Like, we're going to raise it up to a place. Because, you know, when you get insurance, they know your financial stuff. Like, they know how much you're worth and whatnot. Like, they know how much you can afford. And they'll jack it up to a price that you can't afford so that you can't be covered. So I thought that was really evil, and I'm glad that it was actually addressed here. And I love the concept of this chick from Get Out, not Walking Dead. Okay, I got it. I said it in some fucking trailer reaction. I even put it up on the screen that I fucked up, like, during that video, and I still got people comment. I was like, were you not looking at the screen? Okay, Jesus Christ. They look a lot alike. It's true. Anyways. But I love this concept of people going out into the purge to help people. And they're doing it as like triage nurses or field medics or something, where they go out there and they risk their own lives to help people. That is some freaking badass, awesome shit right there. Wow, what heroes these people are. Though, man, the scene where the schoolgirls do eventually get cut down, like, they kind of get killed out of nowhere, which was great. I thought there was going to be longer scenes with them, and it was just going to go on, and she was going to come in, maybe kill someone, and I was like, please stop. And when they come in the van and they fucking barrel through them, holy shit, they go under the car, over, it's awesome. And then she just goes and she's like shooting people, and it's like Django style, where they're being yanked back out of the frame. And you see their bodies just get, you know, thrown back from the blast. Awesome. And then she turns around and we see her fire a shotgun into that fucking annoying ass bitch's face at point blank range. Does not shy away, does not do anything, just blows her whole face off. That's incredible. For an R-rated film that hit theaters, I'm surprised something like that got shown on screen. So hell yeah for that. And hell yeah for letting me... That was like my purge right there. Was watching her face get shot off. Oh God, she was awful. Anyways, all right, I think I'm done with her for now. I haven't mentioned this in the other ones, but that freaking like battle horn that freaking, you know, that they announce the coming purge, that brrr, brrr, the huge loud horn that's playing throughout the whole country. That thing is terrifying to me. Just hearing that and knowing that, yeah, it just sounds like, you know, it's like a battle horn, like in, you know, some old freaking, you know, medieval freaking battle or something, like Lord of the Rings when Gimli goes up and blows the horn. It's just this, I don't know, the sound of it is just scary to think like that's letting all the psychopaths out there know it's dinner time. Woo, baby. It's terrifying. Anyways, I just haven't mentioned that before. I like it that somebody has a guillotine set up in an alleyway. Jesus Christ, man. People go really elaborate with this stuff. We've got a mole. See, it is 24. We got a mole in the Secret Service who rewinds the footage and they think it's live. And I like that Grillo's character here is smart enough to not trust anybody, and that he has a secret doorway that only he knows about so he can get her out. So I like that. And Elizabeth Mitchell, who plays the politician, the Congress girl here, the Congresswoman, I think she's great. I think she's just, I don't know, she's got that like businesswoman, classy lady. She's just sexy. And I really enjoy her. Usually I like her in this. He also has an explosive like briefcase, which is a little elaborate, a little ridiculous, but he does. I just think that would be extremely dangerous to have around somebody you're trying to protect. Who knows what could happen with something like that, but he does, and he blows up the room. And they send all these like white freaking supremacists after them, and of course you immediately want those guys dead. Moving on. Let's see. when he's taking her through the city, that very much felt like Escape from LA to me. When he's taking, the president's daughter through LA and all that stuff, or trying to get the president and Escape from New York. I said this in I think my last one. It's very reminiscent to me of Escape from New York, Escape from LA. So this one felt even more like that because he's protecting a politician from this area where everybody's getting murdered. And let's see. Oh yeah, I don't know why they don't just like go outside and shoot those chicks to death. Like when they're out front, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about them anymore, but they're like trying to cut through with a saw and all this, and it's like they're just kids. Like just you're a Secret Service agent that's taken out well-trained men. Like why didn't you just like go through the window or like go up on the roof and just cut them all down? Like they would have been so easy to dispatch. I just don't understand like why they're so afraid of them. Like take them down. You have plenty of weapons. You're trained heavily. They're just kids. Anyway, I just thought that was kind of silly. And when they're getting chased by the helicopter and the helicopter's shooting at them, that keeps making sweeping passes. It's like it's a helicopter. You know it can like tail a van and just sit there and just plug right into it, right? Like it does sweeps and it has to come back, and it's a helicopter. That's the whole point of having a helicopter. It's not a fucking plane. Like just slow down next to the van and shoot the shit out of it. They flew by it. Why would they do that? They would never do that. That is so stupid. Whatever. I like that there's actually like gladiator type fights that are going on out there. Like two guys that are just going at each other with like big old freaking swords and shit. And everyone's like sitting around and, I don't know if they're betting on it or if they're just cheering or what. But good thing that Joe was an old Crip so he could get him out of it. And let's see here. Yeah, another really stupid part is that Frank Grillo freaking decides to grab a pair of like these clamps or whatever, and he digs into his own wound trying to extract, should I say, the bullet that's in him without telling anyone anything that's going on, in case maybe he passes out from pain or anything. He's just got to be that cool guy that's like, be patient. And it's like, you have a freaking triage nurse at least. I mean, she's out there fixing people up and they have stretchers and this is an ambulance and whatever. You have a chick right there and you're not asking her to pull it out of you? Like, what are the odds that you're going to damage something and she's going to damage something? Like, that was so dumb to me. I was like, he would not pull it out himself. He would ask her to do it. That is so dumb. But, he's got to be the tough guy. Pulls his own damn bullets out. Now the founding fathers in this movie, we actually get to see them and they're addressed here, and a couple of them get killed, which is great, but they really seem to actually believe in it. That was a surprise to me. I mean, they're just written this way, but I was surprised by that. I thought that they were just using this against the people, and maybe they're just total psychopaths and they get off on it, which is kind of what it is, but they truly seem to believe in the purge. Like they purge beforehand, because there's a guy who comes before her, like when they bring the congresswoman. I keep calling her girl. I don't mean to, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But they keep bringing they bring a guy in with her and they purge on him beforehand, and they're all like praying and doing this massive. And I guess they could be doing it for the cameras and this and that, and I don't know. It really seemed like it, because even later, like the guy who was running against her seemed to really be buying into it. Like he wanted to purge. He even was encouraging her to purge on him. I don't know. That was an interesting twist, because as I said, I think in my mind I saw them as the ones who were just manipulating the masses. They didn't believe in this shit at all. They just wanted to, get the poverty line down, more money towards the wealthy, get rid of all the little, urchins down there. So, yeah, I don't know. That one actually kind of took me by surprise. And Dante comes in and he's all of a sudden taken over for, the other dude that was the freaking, what was his name? Jones? Something Jones. Not Cuervo Jones. That's the dude from Escape from New York or LA. Something like that, doesn't matter. But now he's like the figurehead man. Saving his life in that first movie was a big deal. They didn't realize what they were going to do. They were going to stop the purge. Like, that's kind of the irony of it, right? Them protecting him during the purge ultimately led to him helping this, senator get elected to office and stop the purge. So, when you think back like that, it's kind of cool. But yeah, like the two, I don't know, it was just like Joe had to die and then Dante had to die. And I don't know. I was whatever about that. I was just like, oh, come on, you really had to kill Dante in this? That was kind of lame, man. Like, this guy survived through all this. I guess you're trying to make him like a martyr and whatnot, but he should have lived. He should have lived for sure. Joe even should have lived, and they could have cut down some other people. Like, those are some of the two guys that really deserve to live. But of course, they're trying to tug on our heartstrings, and especially with Joe. And I really liked the knife fight between Frank Grillo and the Nazi skinhead dude. I thought that was really well done. It actually, it made me want that Raid remake kind of with him. I know a lot of people are against remakes, especially of something like the Raid, but I mean, why not? That'd be fun. I mean, America already kind of has a Raid with Dredd, but yeah, I would be down for it, of course. Why not? Frank Grillo kicking ass in a movie where he's just going up freaking 30 stories and kicking people's asses. Yeah, I'm down. But that fight scene, yeah, yet again, reinforced my desire for it. And I liked that. I like when when she's winning, she wins by a landslide, and everyone knows that means she's going to get rid of the purge and that the purge is gone. It definitely made me think, and they do confirm it here, that people would be unhappy about that. There'd be tons of people who are on the other side of it loving the purge. They get off on it. They look forward to it. It's been instituted for at least 16 or 18 years, right? At least. I'm guessing more, which wouldn't make any damn sense. But 18 years at the bare minimum. There's going to be people, lots and lots of people, who that's like their Super Bowl. That's their big deal. They get off on it. They think that's their right. And with as stupid as some people are in this country and the entitlements that they think they have, this is not a far cry, man, for me anyways. So I like that was addressed at the end. So yeah, anyways, I am looking forward to the first Purge. I was just told by someone from the horror show that it was his favorite of the Purge movies. So I'm really excited about that. And that's going to be the first one that is directed by someone else. It was still written by the same guy. And we have the Purge TV series as well coming. And that was written by the same guy. So the same guy has written all of the Purge. Every one of them, the 4 movies and the TV series. But this will be the first time where we get a different director. So I'm curious on how the directing will be different. Will we get a lot of the same, stylized slow motion shots and whatnot? We shall see. Weird thing about this is that I have not seen any advertisements for the first Purge. Not one. I haven't even seen a trailer yet. And it comes out tomorrow. That's weird. But anyway, guys, all right, I got a lot more to review tonight, so all right.